The time is just gone 9:35 a.m. and this is amazing. Uh, in this day and age, in this day of age of technology and the highway that we are riding on, and in the 21st century, and we still sit with a problem of pit toilets in the country. It's a massive problem. It's a huge problem, and we've covered this over and over again. We've seen disastrous consequences as a result of pit toilets. We've heard about learners dying in these pit toilets, and something needs to be done. And this is the reason why we're talking this morning with the South African Human Rights Commission. We're talking with the Deputy Chairperson, Fatima Chohan, because they've now lodged a case against 5 education departments to eradicate these pit toilets. And it's an issue that has forced the hand to go to court. Fatima, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having us.
Yes, Fatima, now, we've learned about this case that has been lodged against 5 education departments. And the point I had made, in this day and age, we're still sitting with this huge problem of pit toilets.
Yes, let me just correct one or two things. Firstly, the South African Human Rights Commission hasn't instigated litigation as yet. What we've done is we've just taken a decision to instigate litigation against 5 provincial departments of education in the country. The reason we've announced our intention to litigate is twofold. Firstly, we wanted to signal this to the relevant provinces and government in the hopes that it would evoke a positive realignment of their priorities as they proceed at this time and early next year to finalize their plans and budgets for the next year. And secondly, the reason we announced our intention to litigate is that we are relying on the stats provided by the provincial departments themselves. And by publishing the list of schools that the provinces and the various departments of education themselves are saying use pit latrines, we hope that stakeholders, members of the public, learners, teachers, etc., will be able to look at this list and indicate whether their schools are on that list, if of course they are using the pit latrine system. So it's a way of verifying that information in preparation for litigation.
Yes, Fatima, thanks for clarifying the issue that at this point in time, this is just a plan to start a litigation. Now, looking at the education departments, and I'm just looking at the article, it speaks about 5 provinces, Mpumalanga, the Northwest, the Free State, KwaZulu-Natal, and Eastern Cape. Now, it does appear that these are the biggest problem areas at this point in time. And when we are talking about pit toilets, we're talking about young children. Because the article and you speak of children, thousands of children are denied their right to dignity in schools right across the country.
Yes. If you look at the stats provided by the education departments themselves, we're looking at almost 1,000 schools in KZN province, and you're looking at over 2,000 schools in the Eastern Cape province. So between those two provinces, you're talking about just about 3,000 schools alone. And yes, we are simply wanting to enforce the norms and standards that the National Department of Basic Education promulgated in 2013 that outlawed the use of pit latrines into the future and requires that these facilities be replaced over a period of time. We feel that between 2013 and where we are now in 2021, that the progress has been very muted. And we would like to see a sharpening of efforts with regard to eradication.
Yes, in fact, I was just going to ask you this question in terms of, if there's been any progress, and this is the reason why drastic measures need to be taken if the progress has been muted, because according to this article as well, this obviously would be one of the largest cases that have been lodged against the government since the commission has been formed.
Yes. Look, we are under no illusion that this is going to be easy, particularly in the very rural areas where you don't have bulk infrastructure. So it's communities that are themselves not being able to have flush toilets simply because there are no sewage plants. There's no infrastructure in those communities. And these schools are located within those communities, and therefore they don't have bulk infrastructure, and then you can't just build a bathroom overnight. So we're under no illusion that this is a multiple year project. All we're saying is that between 2013 and currently, the progress made in realizing safer conditions for sewage facilities, for the health of children. One of the problems with pit latrines is that it carries a lot of bacteria, a lot of viruses, a lot of viral infections. One study indicates that about 80% of children who use pit latrines suffer from intestinal worms, for example. These issues need to be addressed. And if we can't see ourselves getting rid of pit latrines before 2031, as one of the provinces had suggested in court recently, then we need to find measures that bridge that gap. We need to ensure that our children are safe as a priority.
Fatima, in your engagement with the education authorities and the government in general, have you been getting any updates whatsoever as to what is preventing? And I know you mentioned the lack of infrastructure development is one of the problems, but are there any regular updates or feedback in terms of some of the concerns that you have been raising?
I think therein lies the challenge. We've been continuously requesting information from the various provinces. Remember, education is a concurrent function. And what happens is that budgets are allocated by National Treasury to the different provinces, but it is their prerogative to prioritize those budgets and how they spend. So that's your first point of departure. And of course, there are many priorities that different provinces may have. What we are saying is that this should feature amongst the priorities and should be adequately funded, and sufficient amount of resources plowed into making a discernible change from what we've inherited. So, and this is where we see very lackluster reporting from the provinces. I'm not saying that they are not efforts. What we are saying is that we cannot see it on paper. We cannot see that the plans are adequate. We cannot see that there's adequate progress.
Are there any examples from the other provinces, apart from these five, that you've highlighted where lessons could be taken in terms of how they've approached to eradicate the problem of pit latrines?
Yes, so one of our points of research in conducting this aspect of our investigation is particularly this. You would see that Northern Cape, for example, is not on the list. And it has some very remote areas that it has to service. And clearly that is the one province that we would want to look closely at and see how they've managed to eradicate pit latrines.
And just to try and understand, is there a lack of political will, or is it pure down to finance? We just don't have the money to address the problem.
Look, I think that would be a question that the provinces themselves would have to respond to, hence the litigation. My sense, though, is the issue of urgency, and the second issue is probably a lack of capacity.
Well, Fatima, we definitely will follow developments, and should the litigation obviously go through, and as you pointed out, at this point in time, it is a proposed litigation. We definitely will follow up on the story and watch the space with a lot of interest. But for now, we thank you. We say Jazakallah to you for your time with us this morning here on Salam Media. Wishing you all the best, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Shukran jazeera.
Fatima Chohan joining us this morning on the issue of pit latrines, still a major problem, a huge problem in the country. The time is just gone, 9:46 a.m. We come back and we are talking about European nations reluctant to release their players for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground in Afghanistan. Millions of people go daily without food. You can heal Afghanistan. Sponsor towards feeding a family at 1,500 in a month or any amount. Visit africamuslimsagency.co.za or call 011 834 8685. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Approximately 785 million people in this world do not have access to safe, clean water. In developing countries, around 80% of all illnesses are due to contaminated water and poor sanitation. Don't let dirty water end a life. Build a water well in Bangladesh, Malawi, Nepal, Zimbabwe, or here at home in South Africa. Donate to Penny Appeal's Thirst Relief Project to bring safe, clean water to communities around the world. www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
What makes Randery Jewelers the optimum place for your memorable gift? Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewellery? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewellery needs? We believe it's